All right, Cappy Bears, welcome back to another episode of The Lone Roller. It is the GM, it is the host, it is the guy that just basically just narrates and argues with himself in character, different character voices. Leon, where we last left off on our adventure of Talti, Horatius, his eyeball got scooped out. That's the long and short of it. If you remember on the last episode, Talti and Sven, I keep doing that. Talti and Priya were separated, and we don't know where Priya ended up, but we know where Sven slash Talti ended up. He ended up in a machine where they were going to extract the memory that he purposely, voluntarily had forgotten, which is the key thing that is going to help him unlock or help people unlock knowing the location of this device that can either bring peace to the Star Sector or bring utter destruction to the Star Sector. In the midst of that, things started rolling in Talti's favor. Things got a little bit more chaotic, but it worked out in his favor and he was in a little bit more control. What had happened was the machine itself malfunctioned or didn't work at its most optimum, and Talti was able to take advantage of it, able to get out, was able to ambush the medico that extracted his eyeball. So now Talti is without an eyeball, but he took both that medico and that security guard out. The other security guard is indisposed. He was very sick to his stomach after witnessing someone's eyeball get scooped up, and it made him sick to his stomach. Now, Talti is with a knife, a couple of syringes, which includes the numbing agent, 2 of which, and the neurotoxins, 2 of which as well. And now he's looking for Priya so they can get the hell out of there. Or whatever, whatever works, right? And that is where our scene is going to begin. Our scene is beginning with Talti searching for Priya. He is in this building. He doesn't know where everything is exactly or where the holding cells. So this is where it's the search for Priya. We test the scene. Does it go as expected? The chaos factor has now went from 9 down to 8. It's still an 80% chance of chaos. Let's roll them. It is a 10. Wow. All right. Our scene proceeds as expected. Talti is walking down the corridor, knife in hand, but then decides to sheath it. He has the utility belt, the security belt that has a couple of items on it, which we'll determine in a matter of moments. He's wearing what he was caught in, so nothing has really changed. However, he is missing an eyeball. We're going to go ahead and retcon the fact that Talti was able, at some point between then and now, was able to fashion something around his head covering the eye, but it is a bloody spot. So he is sneaking around the corridor. How well does he sneak around? We're just going to give that, let's just say it's the fact that there's really been no alarm set up. Everyone is acting normal. So I think a target of 6 is favorable, just to give Talti a little bit of just some lead, just to give him something. Because it seems like everything is going to go wrong today. Okay. He doesn't have stealth, so we're going to give him a -2. He rolled a 9. So Talti is able to sneak around, and he's able to sneak around without getting caught. Talti is thinking to himself, the numbing agent, as we established, is in full effect, and it will last more than a few hours. And he still has 2 more with him when that time comes when he has to. So we have established canonically that stuff is going to last. Talti thinks to himself, I need to find Priya, and we need to figure out what to do. Getting out is probably the smarter thing to do. I have to find where they might be holding him. So as he's sneaking around, he spots 2 guards talking. He's able to hide, and he can overhear their conversation. Are they going to give out the fact that they know where Pria is at? Roll the dice. We'll call that 50-50. 88, which means we also incur a random event, but let's just double check on a chaos factor of 8, 50-50. It is a no. However, because we have rolled within our chaos factor, it does incur a random event. That's always fun. I mean, we all want Talti to get out of this life. Talti is even thinking to herself, like, goodness, does nothing favor me? It seems that the whole universe is against me in some sort of manner. However, let's find out if that is really true when we ask the focus table what is the nature of our random event. 27, NPC action. I think the most logical thing in terms of our NPC action in this scene is that we are looking for Pria, and we still have Emelina. We still have who else? Obviously, Vicente is also with us here, so as well as Pria. Okay, let's go ahead and just roll a d8. What table and see what table we land on. Ascension Caderas came up on our NPC action table. So how does she find out? So we're just going to give this a, usually in games like this, you want to ask a chaos factor on a 5 just because you just want to establish some things in terms of the logistics of the storyline or of the scene. Okay, is it possible 50-50 does Ascension Caderas somehow know that they are in trouble? 65 is a no. So she doesn't really know they're in trouble. So in other words, she is somehow, oh, you know what it is? Ascension has decided to follow up on her people. So she wants to know that the job is getting done. But we should actually not jump to conclusions like that. That is a very bad idea, guys. That's just bad gameplay, mama. We have to actually roll on our action table. So NPC action. So let's go ahead and retcon that. Sorry about that, but let's retcon that. So let's get an idea of the NPC action. 25. 25. Create. 23. Okay. Create elements. NPC action. Ascension Caderas. Create elements. Oh, I know exactly what happened. Okay, so okay, here is what happens. Ascension Caderas knew for a fact that things could go wrong. She has installed, also set up herself a way of gaining favor in this situation, i.e., the create element, if you will, is Pria and having the ability to escape. Pria now knowing that things have hit the fan a little bit, he is able to escape. He had something on him that was able to hack into or slice into, as some would call it, the computer system. So when they threw him, he was able to sort of use a device that allows him to bypass certain security. So even though Talti heard nothing of value, they had nothing to say, those two security guards. All of a sudden, he feels this tapping on his shoulder, and he stiffens up, and he slowly turns around and goes and sees the familiar face of Priya looking right at him. Priya winces back. Oh, no. S- Sven, what happened to your what happened? Priya, it's good to see you, but we need to leave. They tried to extract the memories from me, and that medico, that technician, he scooped out my eyeball. You, oh no, your eye. Oh, he gags a little bit. Oh God, he got. Oh, okay, Sven. I I think it's best that we sneak out. Talti is in full agreement with him. You're right, Priya. We have to get out of here, and we have to find a way to recoup from this event. Is there anywhere else that we could go? Is it possible that there's, is it possible for them to escape? Let's, I say, in the, like, before, it's a, we'll give it another target of 6. Alarms haven't been really alarmed, and we're going to give it to Priya. Priya rolled a 7. And with that, they are able, with what already Talti has already rolled, he is able to sneak. And as is Priya, Priya himself is also able to sneak. So they are able to sneak around. But is it in their best interest to recoup from this event or try to go after Vicente and Emelina? Hmm. I'm going to call that unlikely that they would want to keep pursuing Vicente and Emelina on this venture and recoup instead. 14. Unlikely. Oh no. It is an exceptional yes. Yes. Priya says we should get out of here. But I gotta be honest with you, Talti. I don't know if we're gonna have a chance like this to be in this building. It's gonna be way more difficult for us if we don't do something right now. Talti, obviously, you are not in the best condition. Are you even okay? I was able to have these, and he shows him that he has some sort of numbing agent as well as another syringe. When Priya asks what they are, he elaborates and expounds upon that, which Priya says, okay, just Taltis. Talti, just listen, we're not going to get a chance like this again. We need to find where they're at, and let's see if we could do something to. I think we can make this work. We have an advantage right now that they don't know that neither of us escape. We may not get this chance again. And trust me, we will do something about your eye, Sven. We will do something about it. So like just trust me this one time. As you have done before in the past. And Prior, with no time to think, just says, okay, okay, I think we could do this. So let's do this. The most obvious thing to do is to go up into the top floor. So they take the elevator, which Priya is able to Priya is able just presses the button and they go up the elevator to the top floor to the private abode, the private penthouse of this building of Vicente. When the doors open, they are right there in the vestibule of Vicente. They open up the door lightly and they opens up and they hear music. Music? What's happening? They both exchange glances at one another, and it seems that likely they are celebrating. This has to be the most obvious thing, Sven. They have to be celebrating. Priya, I think you're right. I think they're celebrating because they must believe that they are going to get my memories and get the device. Very likely. 42. That's a yes. Emelina and Vicente are partying the night away. They are having the grandest of times as music blares. They are drinking. They're engaging in just very sensual dancing and whatnot. And it's very hedonistic. It's very of the flesh, if you will. And Priya and Talti, let's go ahead. Let's give them some rolls on this one. I'm going to give that a target of 6. That's an 8. And they successfully sneak in. They can see Emelina and Vicente are completely distracted by what's around them. As far as they're concerned, Emelina, there's nothing they can do now. We have everything that we need to make this happen. We are going to be so rich, my darling. And Emelina herself, she's like, oh yes, mi amor, we are going to be so rich. Ay, rica. She is basically saying. And Talti and Priya, they look at each other, and Priya, I've done this before, okay, Talti? Sneaking missions are super easy when you can get at both sides. He goes, what do you have on you? He opens up and shows that he has a knife, and he has the syringes that are the morphine and the neurotoxin. So at this point, he's just showing the knife and the neurotoxins. And they are both good things to use in this situation. But he also has that utility belt. What's in that utility belt? Is it a chance that, okay, we established that they can't use guns. There's obviously a knife there. But is there also a taser in there? I'm going to call that likely. 49, that's a yes. There is another stun baton. Or not a stun baton. There is a taser there. Priya takes the taser. And Talti has the knife. They decide to surround them to get the jump on them. Let's say Talti. So Priya tells Talti, you're gonna sneak. Okay, so you're gonna sneak behind. You're gonna sneak behind Vicente, okay? And I'm gonna get Emelina. And with that, they go around and surround them. Talti sneaking just behind, waiting for the signal that was already established by Priya. You know when the signal is? It's when this happens. And with that, Priya sticks the taser right into Emelina. And she falls on the floor. And all of a sudden, a knife is on Vicente's neck. Talti whispering, you celebrated a little too early, mediator. Vicente, dumbstruck, still drunk after everything. They grab him and they take him down. And they say, you're going to answer our question. Senator Vamajan, start talking. Who else works for him? Does he talk? It's a good likely chance that he has a knife to his throat. Oh, yeah. Oh, he spills the beans. He goes, I'll tell you everything. I'll tell you everything. Okay, Senator Balmajin, he's dumbfounded. He cannot know what the device is. That's why he has me. We know that at some point we would find you. You would have to turn up, and you easily come over here, and you made it. What happened to your eye? It's none of your business, Vicente. None at all. Answer the questions. You owe me an eye after this. Oh no. Oh no. He's got him dead to rights. Okay. Vicente makes it known. He says, please, I tell you, there are so many people involved. All of them. But, all right. He looks and says, I don't know all of them. I don't know any of them. The only person that I know is Sensitive Vamajin. I believe I'm telling you the truth. I had asked a question, 50-50. Does he know who else is involved in this conspiracy? And I rolled a 92. And it was a no. No, he does not know who else is involved in this manner. And it was just completely useless to him. Useless. Ugh. Talti twinges the pain in his eye, or not the pain in his head every time that memory gets triggered that is just not there, that he cannot remember, and the fact that he has now lost an eyeball. No. Fighting all the urge in his anger, Talti does not kill Vicente. Instead, he lets him live, but he doesn't let him live well. He takes one of the neurotoxin syringes and jabs it right into the spinal column, into his spinal column, and injects the neurotoxin, leaving Vicente paralyzed all over, with nothing else but the use of his mouth. Mediator, for what you've done to me, the pain that you have caused me, and the fact that you have no other information, I won't kill you, but you will not live very well from here on out. Raya looks at Talti. Holy Talti, what did you do? Talti turns his head and looks right at his comrade. I did what I had to do. Priya, let's get out of here. Searching the room and searching around, they're able to find security passes to be able to get off of this planet. They, after leaving Emelina unconscious and Vicente fully paralyzed, they make their way back, sneaking through the city and back into the port of where Priya's starship is, and they get in it and they fly off. Priya, Priya and Talti are sitting there as they're taking off, as they get their clearance with using the security passes, the security codes to say, hey, they have the permission to leave the planet, they're done for the day, whatever. Priya and Talti are sitting in silence. Talti is just staring at nothing, just not thinking, trying to clear his mind. Priya pries and says, Talti, I think we need to do something about, your situation. I know somebody that can help us out. Talti turns with his one good eye, looking at Priya, and says, thank you. But for now, I'm going to get some rest. Wake me up when we're there. And that is where we're going to end the scene. And that is where we're going to end the episode. Wow. Talti is just Ooh, he is fuming right now. They got really nothing out of it, but they did do one thing. They took out a key player in this conspiracy to decimate the star system's population. That's one person gone. Even though he didn't know much, they were able to take him out so that he can do nothing else because he no longer has control of his motor functions. He's done. He's useless at this point. And now Talti and Priya will go into the next scene. The chaos factor, I'm going to say he was in good control, both Priya and Talti. And we're going to say the chaos factor now goes down to 7 for the next scene. Once again, Capybaras, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the listeners that are coming back week after week, listening to these episodes, and we're having so much fun with it. So it's been fantastic. I also have to plug a few things before I go. One, my social medias, Twitter, Alternative Zen, and Instagram _Alternative Zen. I am plugging the book that is already out now that I self-published almost a year ago. That is We Become Beasts. It's my first novella. I decided to self-publish it, so go ahead and check it out. You can find it on Kindle, you can find it on Nook, and I believe on Kobo as well. And at this moment, I am halfway through proofreading a book, more than halfway through proofreading a book. So if you follow me, you will get more updates. I have hopefully an announcement on the current work in progress for you guys. So stay tuned, Capybaras. Until next time, this has been The Lone Roller. Thanks for stopping by.